What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the best Shadow campaign team. This is one I'm going to focus on first before we talk about the Light campaign team, because right now the Shadow campaign is significantly harder than the Light campaign. It seems that around about 16 to 17k power is what you need your Shadow team at to fully complete the Shadow campaign, which is a little ridiculous considering the Light campaign only needs about 12,000. So the Shadow campaign, really overtuned versus the Light campaign. We're going to talk about who I'm using, my thoughts on other characters you can bring in, kind of break that all down in today's video. So if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right into it. So the Shadow campaign, this is where I'm at. I'm at 143 out of 297. It is a very, very long slog on this. It's gonna take some time. This is one that eventually, you start getting some purple crystals when you start completing missions, chapter 4 in your quests here, which gives you an idea of what to expect with this. But this is not easy, and what people are gonna get caught up on is chapter 3-9. This one, you fight a bunch of dwarves. These dwarves are just absolutely bonkers. I was lucky to get through 2 stars on this. You're gonna struggle on this one, and we may do a separate video on this, just kind of talking about my strategy and break it down. But this mission right here, a lot of people are going to get caught up on this one. Once you get through this, it's not as bad. Like chapter 4, yeah, okay, it's a little more difficult, but yeah, that's to be expected. You're going to the next chapter. 3-9 is just a brick wall. It's like they took a chapter 4 mission, threw it on the end of chapter 3, and just kind of wiped their hands and said, all right, we're good. And yeah, chapter 3-9 is going to be what people are going to be caught up on for a while. So I'm slowly working my way through chapter 4 now, and then we'll get to chapter 4 hard at some point. But chapter 3 hard, I haven't even touched yet, which is a shame because right here we got Mary. So I may do this one eventually just to get Mary started farming up. We do have a Mordor character here at 3-5, and then we have the most useless character in the game at 3-9. Which is another dwarf node, so, that's great. We're not going to worry about 3-9 for a long time on hard. But in terms of the best Shadow campaign team, it's probably going to surprise no one. It's going to be Isengard. I mean, they hand you Isengard right away. But there's a bunch of other characters you can work on within this, and, that's what we're going to be talking about. So, obviously, the main character for your Isengard team is going to be Ugluk, just because of his leadership. You only need to take this up to level 3. That way you get the extra 0.5% healing here on the healing for when an Isengard member inflicts a Bane. That will heal all squad members, which is perfect. So, you don't really need to go beyond that, which is fine, because I've got more important things to be dropping these ability materials on. The Onslaught, gets a little more damage. He's not a huge damage dealer. So I'm not really focused on building up damage abilities for Ugluk right now. I'm more worried about what can I do to get debuffs. So reducing the blind ability to a 4-turn cooldown instead of 5, that's huge. And that's where I've stopped at here with his first special, his ultimate here. I've pretty much stopped at level 4. Again, not a huge damage dealer, so I'm not really worried about that. And his passive, I only went up to level 2 because it gives another 10% block chance. After that's 5%. Which, and a two-turn weak-minded debuff is nice, but that's way down the road for me when I hit the level cap and I have the gold to spend on abilities. So that's the first person you're using. Another person you're going to be using is probably going to be Dunhar. Dunhar, I believe you get through, like, what? Light 1-1? Yeah, Shadow 1-1. When you do Shadow 1-1, it automatically gives you Dunhar. So you get him unlocked, and he's kind of the healer of your team, in that he's got Cruel Medicine, which only heals the most wounded squad member, but he will inflict Weaken on 2 random enemies, which will give you healing through Ugluk's lead. His passive, I only took up to level 2 That way it's just 1 stack of defensive to the most wounded squad member. It's usually going to be Ugluk, and when Ugluk blocks, he inflicts a debuff, which then heals up your team. So it's a nice little synergistic boost there. Again, Brutal Gash, not a huge damage dealer, so I'm not really focused on his damaging abilities here. Same thing here with his basic. I only took it up to level 2, so I get the 2-turn bleed on this. And then the third person is going to be part of your trio is going to be Malher. And you can see I have been neglecting stars. That's changing. I'm finally working on getting those leveled up. Him, I haven't really. Yeah, let's start doing some of that. Yeah, like he's your big damage dealer of the team. So this is one I'm gonna just kind of throw some more damaging abilities on, and you know what? I'll get that upgrade as well. Twisted Knife does a lot of damage. So he's got really solid damage numbers. So using this will inflict slow, which automatically heals your team. Calls Ugluk to assist, get a little more damage. But this Twisted Knife really works well. You also get Foul Liquor, which, you know what? Screw it, let's do it. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna regret that one. Foul Liquor, he gets regeneration, he gets deadly and haste. He gains bonus turn meter. So you use this as you're going in to twist the knife. And Twisted Knife's just going to do even more damage because you get deadly here. So you have the bonus crit chance already here with him. And then on crit, he cleanses 1 Bane from himself. Isengard squad members gain bonus crit chance. I believe this means he also gets bonus crit damage, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then his basic can also get bonus crit chance per Bane on the enemy. He's your main damage dealer of the Isengard trio. So when you're talking about leveling abilities for damage, he should be your main priority for this. Let's see, who else am I running? Obviously, I'm running Gaz Ironhide. Gaz is just an absolute monster. I have been trying to transition the Brute in as well to see how things work there. And honestly, I have not been too disappointed. You can only bring in Ironhide or Brute. You can only bring one or the other. In Brute, I'm just be honest, Brute has way better damage stats. He's gonna absolutely wreck some characters. He gets this expose on Earthshaker. He gets this Monstrous Roar, which is how you're pretty much going to get might on your team, because you don't really have many ways of getting might on shadow characters. You have Eowyn and you have Pippin for light, but it really seems Brute is the only consistent way of getting might on your team right now. So this Monstrous Roar, 3-turn cooldown, which gets might to all of your squad members and inflicts daze on random enemies. Fantastic. Reduces their focus. That's great. The Earthshaker will also inflict expose, which reduces armor. So you have this where you can use Earthshaker, you get exposed on somebody, and you've already used the special on Malher to get that bonus crit, that bonus deadly, haste, regeneration, and that bonus turn meter. So you use Earthshaker to set up expose, and Brute is slow, so Brute's gonna go after most of the other team has moved. You then use the combo with Malher's special, and you just obliterate somebody. So Ironhide also, I mean, what do we need to say about Ironhide at this point? Most of us are going to be going for, if you're free to play, you're going to be going for Ironhide. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Brute, I think, is just a little bit better for the campaign, but Ironhide is still really, really good. There's nothing wrong with bringing in Ironhide. Don't take that as a criticism of Ironhide. It's just Brute is better for this kind of thing because of that might and because of the expose. So yeah, Dispelling Boons on his first special. His ultimate deals damages everybody. And then you have Child of Mordor. He gains bonus armor and max health. And in his special, if someone starts hitting him and he gets low on health, this is going to deal even more damage. So Ironhide is obviously going to be an easy 4th. So the question is, who becomes your 5th? And this is where I've been changing things up. So I was very high on Naraz, and Naraz has really helped me. Number 1, the troll summon that he brings in with Child of Moria, fantastic. Gives him turn meter. You get this troll Stonebreaker who has heavy stomp, which deals enemy damage to all enemies, and his Mountain's Might, which also stuns. You don't get a lot of stuns in this game right now. So a stun with Mountain's Might, 3-turn cooldowns on both, which is not bad. And then his basic deals some damage, but like he does 2 back-to-back AoEs as soon as he's summoned, and that on his first 2 turns after he's summoned. And that's huge. That's why we use Gaz so much. That's why you see Gaz in Arena so often. Now, you also have Mountain Medicine, which grants defensive to self and 3 random allies, cleanses Banes. You can also reduce the stamina cost to 3 turns, which is fantastic. This is where you also get some nice synergy with Ugluk. If you go back and look at Ugluk, again, like the one character you absolutely have to bring in. Let's see, he gets Provoke. Yeah, he can get Provoke here with his Brutal Thrust, and then when he blocks, he inflicts Weak-Minded. So you have Provoke on him with his basic. He gets called to assist with Malher, so you're probably going to get Provoke on Ugluk. You use Naraz to get Defensive, which is a block on Ugluk. He blocks, he inflicts a debuff. He may take some damage, but now he's healed up your squad. So the big issue with your Shadow team is there's not a lot of good sustain. You don't have any really good healers right now. Yeah, that's really the problem. You have Chef Kraska, but it's I don't know. Yeah, he's squishy, which means he's not going to heal a lot because it's based on max health. So he's not going to do a lot of healing with that. You don't really have a good healer besides Chef, and even then calling him good is a kind of a stretch. So, your Shadow team's all about out-damaging the enemy and using the debuffs from Isengard to really kind of heal your team up. And that's where Azak comes in. Now, this is one that I've been turned on to recently, is a monster in Arena, but he's also really good in campaigns. So his basic inflicts Expose, perfect. His special, Bleed Dry, inflicts Bleed. His ultimate, Cull the Weak, not only does it do a ton of damage, it ignores Taunt, and if he kills with this, you get Might for 1 turn to self and Maher. Fantastic stuff. Also, anytime an enemy dies, he gains stamina for 1 random ability. You get to use him, I think he's a borrowed character in one of the Shadow campaign teams, and when I first used him, I was like, oh man, this guy's fantastic. And I completely forgot about it after that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a monster. We'll have to do a video on this guy because he is him. There's really no other way of saying it. This man is a monster. And he's quickly replaced Naraz on my campaign. The problem also with Naraz is he's squishy. Number one, the big issue is that he's squishy. If you're trying to go for 3 stars, Naraz becomes like a little bit of a liability. The defensive boost with Ugluk and that synergy, that's great, but he's squishy. And number 2, if you're in a mission where you have a borrowed character, you can't summon a troll. And I wish this was not a thing. I wish there was a way for us to get around that with borrowed characters. I know Marvel Strike Force, you can have like 10 characters on your side, which means so many summons. I wish we had something similar like that here with Heroes of Middle-earth. And yeah, Azak's become my new favorite 5th for the Isengard squad. Now, in terms of who else you can use, I've seen people use Tordoc. Tordoc is a reliable tank, and when you level him up and start getting him up, this taunt really heals him up quite a bit. It's very nice. Knock him down, he can inflict Enfeeble, which reduces the crit chance, which, if you run to a team with a lot of crit chance on them, that may be useful. When a Shadow Leader ally drops below 50% health, gain a stack of Provoke. So this is not too bad. This is helpful if Ugluk starts falling low on health, and his basic deals some damage. But Tordoc, I've seen people use. He's not bad. Who's the other character I've seen people use? Bolg. I've seen people use Bolg as a damage dealer instead of Naraz. Bolg is not bad. His leadership, this is a leader I'm very high on because it buffs trolls, orcs, and Misty Mountain squad members. So pretty much most of your Shadow teams, most of your Shadow characters, except for Haradrim and Dunland, are getting buffed by this lead. And Haradrim and Dunland are just not good right now. So all your best Shadow characters are getting buffed by this with the chance to gain advantage. But again, this is not a lead you're going to use in campaign because you need that healing. So you're not really bringing him in for the lead, you're bringing him for damage. Inflicts Disable, which is the ability block. His second special inflicts Disrupted. So if you have a character who's going to auto tank when someone falls low on health, you inflict Disrupted. I've used this for the one of the challenge missions where you fight the Nazgul. I use this to inflict Disrupted on the Nazgul that auto tanks, so that I can keep focusing down someone like the Witch King. I can't remember which Nazgul it is that auto tanks within challenges. So you get some nice use of him outside of the campaign here. So, you know, Azak is my highly recommended 5th. If you don't have him, Bolg works decently well, but again, you probably don't have him. Naraz is probably going to be the easiest choice, but you're going to eventually replace Naraz because there's just better options. So that's going to kind of wrap it up here. If you guys have questions about characters, if you think I've missed someone, you think I didn't bring up someone for that 5th spot, let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, found it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.